Get ready to get ready. Coming to you live from the MFG studios in the heart of America's summer golf capital. We help you play better golf. It's time to get your game on and take it deep. This is the Mike Fay Golf Show. Here's your host, Mike Fay.
Oh, good evening, everyone from America's Summer Golf Capital. My name's Mike Fay. I'm the Director of Player Performance here at the Boyne Golf Academy here in Northern Michigan, and we are here for you to help you play better golf. This is golf's most interactive online show, and tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. Geoff Crittenden. How you doing, Geoff?
I am good. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's fun. Thanks so much for coming on with us. We have Jason Hellman up in your upper right-hand corner there. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing great, Mike.
Awesome to have you on, as usual, my friend. And Frank Costello, longtime member of Mike Fay Golf. How you doing, Frank?
How you doing, Mike? How you doing, Jason and Geoff? Good to be on with you.
Hey, guys.
It's a very snowy morning, or evening, I should say. I'm all backwards tonight. It's getting pretty cold out there. Going down to a low of 19 degrees. And if any of you caught the end of the football game between Carolina and the Packers, you saw what we're going to get. We're a little bit north of them if you go straight across the lake, and that's where we are here at Boyne Resorts. So we're going to get lots of snow over the next 4 days, and we're hoping that you guys are working on your golf games at some point this winter, right, guys?
You bet.
Best time to do it.
It is the best time to do it. Speaking of that, Mr. Crittenden, what do you have there next year?
I have a little bit of hardware from the last couple of years.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Very, very cool. Well, we're...
I like collecting them right now.
That's awesome. So tell us about the experience.
The first one I was back in 17. It was nerve-wracking. It was a long day. I hadn't won one before, so I put a lot of pressure on myself. This one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one. Enjoyed it from start to beginning. I almost eliminated myself early by going OB in the second round, but slowly worked my way back through the field. And awesome field, awesome event.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. I was watching it. And it was very, very cool, my friend. Very cool. Especially being on Golf Channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've been live hitting on Golf Channel, so that was fun. That brought back a lot of good memories, and have some more. Hopefully, there's a few more coming in the next couple of years.
Very, very cool. So tell us what the tour has, I don't know, I guess grown a bunch since the Golf Channel's been involved, right?
Yeah, it keeps growing. We have 6, 7 televised events now. Our viewership is up. Social media has gone through the roof with this. When I do events, there's not anyone in the field that doesn't realize long drive is not a sport on TV. Unfortunately, everyone asks me about the long-haired kid that won the Open division this year.
Of course. So, a ton of traveling. How many miles did you fly and drive this year?
That's an excellent question. I don't know if I want to think about it. With doing the 6 events and probably 60 outings and corporate events this year, I haven't been home too much in the summer. So that's why I'm kind of glad. Yesterday was one of my last ones. I have one more small one, and then I'm home for a while. So kind of excited.
I bet. Yeah, I can't imagine.
What was that?
It's important to have a break.
Yes, I'm excited to have my feet up on the couch for a while.
That's good. So we've had some questions submitted for you, Geoff, and we're going to spend all our time talking about you and what's going on, and maybe you can help all of us hit the ball a lot farther, okay?
Okay.
The first question is do you do any slow motion drills to try and simulate your speed and what you're trying to do?
I do a lot of before I actually get on the tee box in a tournament. I'll do a lot of very slow golf swings to simulate what I want to do when I'm on the tee. So I can feel the club squaring. I can see it. That's how slow I'm going, and it seems to work out quite a bit. I love doing that stuff.
It's kind of breaking things down and what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, trying to make sure I get the impact in the right position. I have a tendency to spin out a little quick trying to hit it far.
Now I'm going down here through the list, and that's another question. What is the right impact position for you, and how do you know whether you're doing or not?
I go strictly when I swing the golf club. I do. I see where the ball goes. If the ball's right, I know where my impact position. I'm too far out in front. If it's going left, I'm hanging behind it. The weight shift screwed up. So I look at ball flight to determine where the impact position is right or not.
And what kind of launch angles are you trying to achieve for your shots?
It depends on the event. Where if we got a wet grid, I'm looking 12, 10, 12, 13 degrees of launch. The ball that I won with this year, I launched at about 9.5 degrees. And if it's a hard grid, probably more around 7. Let it run down the grid.
So what do you do to change that?
I actually have a couple different clubs. I have a weaker shaft to hit it high and a little stiffer one to hit it low. I keep the same exact head.
Okay, so same loft on the head, and you just change the shaft just to get that change.
The shaft kicks more and throws it up in the air. A stiffer shaft will keep a ball flight low for me.
Very, very cool. How about shaft length? Do you change that at all?
No, I stay consistent. We're USGA guidelines, so 48 inches is all we're allowed. So I have everyone right at 48 inches, trying to get every single mile per hour out of my swing.
I bet. Frank, do you have some questions for Geoff?
What do you like? What do you do as far as your training regimen is concerned, especially in your off season, Geoff?
Yes, I do have that to look forward to this year. I'm not a big fan of training. I do a ton of it. I do a lot of like I throw medicine balls around the gym. I do a lot of polymetric moves, a lot of explosive moves, more like an offensive lineman. I do some agility training, and I do some weights. I'm getting old, so I'm trying to stay somewhat strong. That seems to be more challenging than anything else.
So
I do use this super speed swing sticks a lot in the off season. I do that, trying to gain speed.
Do you do any different protocols than the ones that they have?
It's funny, I do not. For the only simple reason, by the time I get done their protocols, I'm exhausted. 15 to 20 minutes of swinging those speed sticks, I'm done. So I do it at the end of my workouts. The only thing maybe I do a little different is I'll take the light one and swing it 10 to 15, 20 times at the end as hard as I can in a golf swing motion.
how long are your practice sessions go for when you're hitting balls?
Well, I mean, I did 60 outings this year, probably hit 5,000 golf balls. That's pretty much my practice session. If I'm leading up to an event, I'll go out and hit until I'm happy, whether that's 20 balls or 60 or 100. When I feel good, I walk away.
I like that idea, don't you, Jay?
Yeah. Go till you think it's good. Okay, I'm done.
I'm almost 49 years old. I don't know how many more swings I have, so I'm not gonna. If it's not working out,
Oh, that's too good.
So do they measure your club faces after each event?
Yeah, they randomly pick through the event. They'll randomly pick it and CT test all the faces, and um, and if you make the finals, they take all the clubs you're going to hit and CT test them. I actually lost one club going into the finals because it failed.
So they're pretty strict then.
Yeah, they're very strict. We get every time you go to an event, every club you have gets measured, looked at. A few get randomly tested. We get steroid tested, random tests and stuff. So, you know, it's well regulated.
Did not know that.
Random tests.
That's probably more strict than the PGA Tour.
I think it is. I'm not 100% sure what they do. I've lost a little bit of what goes on at PGA Tour, but I believe it is. And I think we're going to get stricter this year, from what I'm hearing. They don't want anyone to slip clubs in or slip other things into your body that shouldn't be there.
Is anybody chewing gum like Tiger and Phil?
They might be. It's funny. Everyone asks me nonstop about. We have a lot of new guys doing the stepping stuff while hitting now, and that's pretty interesting. I have not yet mastered that. I hit it really far right, but I see these guys doing it. I'm going to give it a try again this year. But I do see that being a new trend in long drive.
So when you're self-diagnosing yourself and you don't have, do you own your own TrackMan, by the way?
I do. We have. I work at Precision Golf Schools, and we have TrackMan and 2 flight scopes. So I get on them quite a bit just to kind of check out clubs and to make sure the swing's launching in the right spin rates.
Right, because you're
Geoff,
teaching a bunch too, right?
The success of your swing, is it your upper body rotation? Do you feel you're really strong in the leg area? What's your primary focus on gaining your distance?
Um, well, that's an excellent question. I come from a baseball background. Most of my golf speed comes from my hand speed and lag. So I'm constantly working on things to get my hands to move faster and arms to move faster. I do a lot of rotational stuff in the gym, but it seems like when my arms are loose and not hurting, that's when I'm the fastest.
Do you guys measure your hand speed?
I did about 4 or 5 years ago, and that was the last time I've done that.
You remember what it was?
I don't remember what the hand speed was. No. I remember being tested on it, but I don't remember. I don't think they told me what the outcome was. I may not have wanted to know.
Well,
do you have 2 different balls you play for 2 different grids, or it's the same ball?
Nope, it's the same ball. It's the Volvic World Long Drive Championship, so we all use a Volvic long drive ball. It's about 125 compression. It's USGA legal. I wouldn't recommend hitting irons with it. I think I might have been an iron this summer playing with one by mistake.
So everyone plays the same ball.
Everyone plays the same ball.
One ball rule.
Yeah. And we hit 4 across in the qualifying. What you guys see on TV is the match play, but we qualify 4 across. So Volvic makes 4 different color balls for us, and then we all hit at the same time. And who's ever the longest gets 200 points, 100, and so on. So they always put a high price on winning groups of 4 to get through.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you've never been to a long drive event, I would suggest coming and definitely watching some of the preliminary. That's the most exciting point when you got 4 cross hitting at once, and you all go down the last ball and you all 4 hit it, and everything changes quick on that last one.
So when it's wet out, you were talking about launching it a little bit higher, right?
Yes.
How about when it's windy out?
Oh gosh, back in in 2014, we had a crossing wind from left to right in our face, and I spent probably 5 hours, probably 4 hours on the range before the actual event that night working on a low fade, and that turned out very beneficial. Apparently, I was the only one. So I always like change. I need to use ball flight conditions and spin rates and launch angles to work well on these grids. Because I don't have the same speed as everybody else. I'm probably a little slower than most of the people out there in the open division and average in the senior division.
So what do you feel like when you're trying to hit a fade?
Oh, I'll set up. I'll set up a little open, and then I actually feel like I'm swaying through it a little bit. I'm letting my body turn more. I'm letting my head move a little forward in the swing, and really trying to over exaggerate getting my weight to my front foot and getting the weight up there and turning.
So probably the opposite when you're trying to hook it.
Oh, when I'm trying to hook it, I'm hanging back hard and letting the hands flip at the ball and trying to keep the path going outside. These are not probably what average golfers want to try and do in the golf swing, but you can't let up. You got to still almost hit it at as hard as you can, and then try and work it in the grid.
What happens when you're warming up and you're not hitting it in the center of the club face? What do you do?
I usually get mad at myself, and then I usually work through it. I'll go back to some simple mechanics that I've worked on for the past 14, 15 years of keeping the head still and make sure I'm in my posture and make sure the weight shift is good. And I go back to basics. When it starts to fall bad, I go back to simple little things in the golf swing.
Is there an optimal angle of attack that works best for you?
Yeah, I'm typically somewhere between 5 and 7 degrees up at the golf ball. I find that for me that works great. That gives me the spin rates that I need. I need a spin rate somewhere around 1800 on a hard grid. Wet grid, probably the same attack angle, but I need about 2300. Keeps the ball in the air a little longer with the spin.
Sure. Yeah. Geoff, I love the fact you talked about having a baseball background. I can't tell you how many players that I work with that will say to me, "Oh, I have a baseball swing," like it's a bad thing, And I tell them, "Hey, that's really good. You understand upper body rotation, you understand weight shift, you understand how to stabilize your lower body. I think it's really good."
I agree with you 100%. I love teaching baseball players or relating the golf swing back to baseball. As soon as they start relating it back to something they know, they seem to have a lot of success. And if you've seen my golf swing, it still looks like I'm hitting an inside fastball.
Is that a Nolan Ryan fastball?
Well, maybe Nolan Ryan's older brother fastball.
Well, we have some people watching with us right now. They have some questions for you. You want to answer some of them, Geoff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, shout out to Bill and Holly and Zach, James. Thank you guys so much for being on right now. Zach says, "Is there a Champions Tour run in your future, my friend?"
Oh gosh, I'm hoping there will be. We are trying to work on some sponsorships so I can get out and play golf again. And I mean, at worst case scenario, I'm going to follow around and do a bunch of Monday qualifiers for it. I used to play golf back in my 20s, which was a few years ago, and I'm getting the itch to go back and play again. And I actually feel better about my golf game now than I did, 25 years ago.
That's pretty cool. You get better as you get older.
Yes, I think I'm getting a little smarter. Well, maybe not, but at least some of the experience is paying off. Now that I hit a lot of 2 irons and hybrids off tees, where back in the day I just hit driver and hope for the best.
Speaking of that, hitting it as far as you do, how far do you hit like a 2 iron?
my 2-iron, I can probably fly at about 260, 250, 260 when I'm playing golf. The other day, I played golf. It was relatively flat. The hole was 550, and I got there in with two irons. So, whatever the math is on that one, 270, 275, 275.
That's awesome. Now, what happens when you get down towards something ending in wedge?
Yeah, I mean, once we start getting closer to the wedges, I'm more probably typically hit it as far as the tour players do. My swing is much shorter in the backswing and more trying to hit greens. So, if I hit my 9-iron, may go 160, 155, pitching wedge 145, 150-ish. But I'll hit a 9-iron from 110 if I need it to go in and knock it down.
Very fancy. I like that.
It sounds really
You got all the shots.
He does. I like it.
We're not showing diagrams of some of the balls I've hit, at least. So, I mean, it sounds good here.
Okay, but how far do you hit the putter?
I usually try and hit it 2 or 3 times per hole. I like to get my money's worth with that club.
Oh my goodness.
I just got done playing. I played in August. I played in the Carolinas Open. And I hit it as good as I've hit it in years. And my putting when I played was always really good. So the only thing I didn't work on was putting. And the putter let me down.
No.
Yeah, I had 10 3-putts. Greens rolling on 12, and 6 of those 3-putts I left it short on a downhill putt. So I'm working on putting this winter.
Speaking of this winter, what do you do over the winter time to get ready for that schedule now that, is it busier now for you because of what you've done with the Golf Channel and all these other things?
It is. My outing schedule is really busy. Being on the Golf Channel has helped quite a bit. Yes, the winter, January and February won't be much. I'll be at the PGA Show. But other than that, that's just my training time. That's where I'm in the gym a couple times a day, doing some cardio. I like to eat, so got to do a lot of cardio to offset it. And come probably April, everything will kick right back on. Events will start, outings will start. So I'm excited for the rest, but I'm also excited to get into next year.
Yes. I know that in the past you and I have talked about training, and last time we talked about you're doing some stuff in the water. Tell the benefits of training in the water.
Oh, I love training in the water. There's zero impact on the body. I can do so many more things in the water that I can't do on land because there's no resistance or there's no pounding on my knees. So I get in there and do, I did a couple water aerobic workouts and they killed me. The ladies in there didn't kill, but I was tired. But I do a lot of the same stuff I used to do in baseball, which was anything I did out on the field. I do it in the water, and we did it in baseball too.
So you use weights in the water?
I use some foam things. I'm not sure they're called weights, but the foam for some resistance. It's a lot of core, a lot of I'll call it agility stuff, but you can't be too agile in the water, or I can't, at least.
So does that just happen during the winter months, or do you try and do it while in between events and stuff?
I used to do it through the summer, but with my schedule getting so busy, in the summer I try and get to the gym 3 times a week, and usually the water workouts don't usually make it. If I'm home for a week, back in the pool, but most of the time they'll be starting up next week and then going right through end of February or beginning of March, I guess. So
they have fitness trailers for you guys on the tour?
No, we don't have. We're not there yet. We're lucky to have bottles of water. We're getting there. We used to have a tent that had an air conditioner in it, but I haven't seen that for a couple of years. So we're hoping to get some of that stuff back.
So you're just kind of on your own to find a place to work out as you go from place to place.
Exactly. Now, when we have Worlds, we have access to a gym, a golf gym that is at the event, and it's right in the building next to the grid. So I go in there and do about 20 minutes of light weights and stretching to get ready to hit. I love it there because I feel good. Can't find it in too many other events. I got to bring my own stuff, and flying in, you're limited in what you can do.
Right. Yeah, getting ready. So, really getting ready right now to train hard for next season. So it sounds like.
Yes. It's gonna start actually tomorrow. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow is the day that all the training begins to start. I'm excited for the first week, then it gets kind of old and boring. But I know I have to do it if I'm going to have any chance of defending my title.
Oh, I think that you can do it, my friend. You're awesome. We're cheering for you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Every workout. So how often, like tomorrow, what would be a workout for you? How many hours?
Oh, I'll go early in the morning and do an hour or so cardio and maybe a little core, and then I'll come home and probably come back that night and do hour and a half of weights and stuff. And then as I get used to lifting, it'll probably the weights will go to about 2 hours and the cardio will go to about hour 15 or so as I slowly get back into the workout.
Okay. So how much golf are you teaching these days?
I'm right now. Not much. I've been so busy that I have I have a few students and I have some long drivers that come see me. But not I'll do a couple lessons a week when I'm in town.
Okay.
And they're usually people that I've taught over the years that are looking to stay with me, so I make some time. This winter I'll have some more time, and I'll have probably a little busier teaching the indoor facility that we get to the outside. I mean, this is North Carolina, and a little different conditions than you have, Mike, but it's still cold here. Like we're getting down to like 30 tonight, so I'm staying inside.
Yes, sir. We'll post some pictures of the snow this week because we're going to get some good stuff, right, Frank?
Yep.
Yeah. And then, see, the joke is, Geoff, is that we get it here in Michigan and then I ship it right over to Jason in Toronto. Right. So he can get some.
Hey, just don't bring it down to me.
I mean, you probably don't have many salt trucks where you live, right?
Oh, no. We have a few. The problem is when it snows, the threat of snow shuts the town down. Last year we had 14 inches, like December 10th. Schools were out for a week. Businesses are shut down. No one knows how to plow snow here. Like, I went out and you couldn't get into businesses because the snow truck pushed the snow up to the door and you couldn't get in. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to plow snow back when I lived in Pennsylvania. I don't miss it.
No. Okay, we got a bunch more people watching now. Thank you guys so much for watching our Golf's most interactive online show. James asks, what is Geoff's favorite event?
The favorite event? Well, our World Championship out in Oklahoma, and probably the Phoenix event because it's I do really well on dry grids that run, and Phoenix never lets down. It never rains out there, so it's hard as a rock. So I can chase it down the grid, and I've had really good success over the years there.
Frank, I really like it when it's hard and fast, don't you, my friend?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Hellman plays golf every day, so he hits it a mile.
Yeah, 900 per second round coming up.
How many rounds this year, Jay?
I'm going to Street Song to play 3 rounds for my birthday and a couple.
Yes, Jason plays lots of golf, so we give him a hard time.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm kind of jealous. So.
Oh, we are too, for sure.
Do you have a coach?
Uh, that's a great question. I have a couple people I kind of go to, but not really an official coach that I go see all the time. I work with a couple awesome instructors at Precision, Robert Linville, Chris Harlow, Ted Bonham, and anything goes wrong, they're more helpful to help me fix it.
Yeah, I know Robert.
Yes, he's probably one of the best in North Carolina.
Let's give a shout out to Bill, John, Chris, Joe, Blake. Everybody's online here. Gary. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. And we have Mr. Crittenden here with us. Mr. World Long Drive Champion. My wife and I jumped up and down when you won. We were excited for you, buddy.
Well, if you guys watch it, so did I.
Yes. You got air, but you got way more air than Phil.
I saw pictures. There wasn't a lot of air there.
Was it more than Mitchell thinks?
I think it was. I thought that. I went, he's got ups.
To get more air than that. That was, yeah, I saw the pictures. I didn't see a lot of space between my feet and the ground, but it felt like I was up about 40, 50 inches.
You were way up there. It was good.
The thing we're standing on, the thing they built was shaking when I was jumping, so they probably didn't want me to do too much more of that. So
Yeah.
How much snow are you guys getting up there?
Well, this week we are going to get somewhere between 6 to 12 inches of snow over the next 4 days. We probably...
We're maybe 1 to 3.
We get way more snow. I'm about, 3.5 hours north of Frank.
Yeah, closer to Detroit, Jeff.
Wow, okay. I was just up in Detroit this summer at Oakland Hills doing an event.
Mike was there too.
I was there too for Drive, Chip, and Putt.
Oh yeah, I saw the signs for that.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful place, Oakland Hills. It's amazing what's going to happen with the South Course. And they're going to redo the South Course.
Doing what?
Redoing the entire course.
Are they? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that. I remember the course was awesome. The clubhouse was amazing, and they had the best outing food of any outing I've had in the last 5 years.
Big fan of the Oakland Hills food. Awesome. Frank, did you want to say something?
Pardon, Mike.
Well, as far as our feed on Periscope, it's down, so I'm going to be putting in some links to watch it here, you guys. So I'm sorry about that tonight. And I'm checking in here. Yes, we are live on YouTube right now, so thank you guys so much for watching tonight here with Geoff Crittenden, Golf's most interactive online show. If you guys have any questions at all, type in them for Geoff tonight. My name is Mike Fay. I'm the Director of Player Performance here at the Boyne Golf Academy. I'm so excited you guys are here with Frank Gastella and Jason Hellman. We are missing our friend tonight, Jay. He could not make it from Australia. Brent Davis is not available tonight, but he will be on soon.
Try gearing up.
Okay. Let's see here. Geoff, is there anything you do when you tee up the golf ball that's different than anybody else? The height of the tee, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I teed up, well, in a long drive event, I teed up 4 inches. The legal limit is 4 inches, 4-inch tees, and I try and tee it up as high as I possibly can. If they had a 5 or 6-inch tee and was legal, I'd probably use it. The higher I go, the better I can hit it. So when it's low, I have a tendency to spin it a lot. So the higher the better.
The higher the better.
Yeah.
So for you, hitting it on the center of the club face is pretty important. What would you tell people that don't hit it on the center of the face? Let's say they hit it in the heel of the club all the time. What do you do to fix that?
And if they're hitting it in the heel, it's from my past experience, it's usually a club path problem. Um, you're coming one way, the other too far in or too far out. You get them more on plane. If I start hitting it in the heel, I know um, that I'm probably coming too far inside from my swing, but everyone's different. So I would. What do you guys do? What would you recommend?
Jay?
I try and get it more on a more repeating path. So find out what that is that's optimal for them, and I try and expose the sweet spot uh, to their path. So if they're hitting in the heel, might have them line it up in the toe. If they swing out in, they have a better chance of hitting the sweet spot. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because even vice versa, if they're into out, if their path is reasonable and not like 9 and 2 and 3 and 10, then obviously their path is not repeatable. So if they have a repeatable path, try and expose the sweet spot to that path at each spot.
That's a great idea. I love that idea.
Okay, we have more questions here from Facebook. Rick says, how do you differentiate between the power of your driver and the finesse shots around the green?
That's a great question. Um, when I'm hitting driver, it's everything I got. I don't know if it looks that way on TV or not, but I'm swinging as hard as I possibly can, making as big of a shoulder turn as I can. When I'm around the greens, my hands are soft. I'm bouncing the club off the ground the best that sand wedge can, and making much smaller swings. And I'm trying to hit the most club I possibly can, the least amount of loft for this situation. I don't like getting it really high in the air. Everything gets on the green and let it roll as much as it possibly can.
How about bunker shots?
What was that, Mike?
How about bunker shots? What do you think about when you want to hit it really high?
If I do want to hit it really high, I open the face, open up my stance a little bit, open up the face, and swing harder and try and catch a little more sand and knock it up in the air. A lot of the times when I hit bunker shots, I end up taking a smaller swing than most people and trying to nip it out pretty good and trying to let it stop whenever the ball hits.
Okay, let's go to a couple more questions here. This is a good one. How far is your longest drive ever?
Longest drive in the competition is 491 yards in Kansas City.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yes, I got it was soaking wet, and I actually got a really good bounce. So, and it was in an early round. I didn't win an event. I didn't win that event. I had the longest drive by 85 yards. But it was in a qualifying round, so it didn't really mean much.
It means a lot to you, though.
Oh, it does. It does. Yes, 491 sticks in my head quite well.
Now, how far is the longest one not in competition?
Um, well, I was playing a mini tour event down in Florida, and it was a par five, and I hit it, and we never found it. I went back to the tee and re-hit and went down, played the hole, and we found it up on the fringe. It was a 540-yard hole. I think I hit cart path once or twice, I would assume, or a sprinkler head. And so the guys I was playing with estimated it about 540. Unfortunately, I made bogey on the hole. So Didn't make birdie on my second shot, so I was kind of proud of that. But considering I had looking at eagle or a 2, and I made a 6.
It happens though, right, Frank?
Yep, sure does.
Ever since then, I always go check at least 50, 60 yards ahead of where I think I'm going to hit it, just in case that happens.
Well, a lot of times you can't see where you hit it.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm playing yellow and orange balls, and I can see them better off the tee. The white ones kind of disappear at about 200 yards anymore. That might be a sign of me getting older.
Maybe. Oh, it might be. So tell us about the camaraderie on the long drive tour.
Oh, it's actually it's more like well, in the Masters of 45 over, it's more like a family. Like we know everyone. Any new guys come in, we welcome them in. We usually all go out to dinner, or at least 12 or 14 of us go out to dinner, and we banter back on the tee, back and forth, and it's so much fun. The Open used to be that way, but with all the money coming in and all these new kids, it's still kind of like a family group, but not as much as it used to be. Not as much as the Masters. Like we'll help people. Club breaks. New guy comes in, breaks his club. He'll have 4 clubs to use before the day's out of his choice and what he wants to hit. So yeah, it's really fun, and that's probably why I've stayed in it so long, which I'm glad I did. But it's when you're not competing, you kind of miss the guys you're competing against.
When was your first long drive you ever competed in? When did you start doing it?
I started at a right early age of 34, because someone made me do this. I used to watch long drive as a kid. Thought it was the coolest thing, but never thought that I could compete. Um, then one of my bosses from Pennsylvania, Robert Passarelli, we argued about it a little bit, but he talked me into going and doing long drive. And my first local, I won by 60 yards. Thought I was really good. Went to a regional the next like 3 weeks later and got killed. Um, and then that was the learning process. I learned how to do long drive. It's just not get up there and swing as hard as you can. It's so much more goes into it.
So do any of you guys train together when you're on traveling or travel together or something like that?
Yeah, we usually like most of us do travel together. There's guys that we when we go. I mean, long drive is very expensive. You're looking at an event. If I'm competing in both events, open and senior, I mean you're looking at 2,500 to 3,000 just to fly and rent a car. So we're always sharing hotel rooms or splitting cars and stuff. Um, and it's really cool. Yes, we do it quite a bit. We'll day before 5 or 8 of us will go hit golf balls together and discuss what we need to do the next day, what the grid's going to be like. We think it's a hot spot on the right or left or whatever input we have. We talk about it.
Okay, we got some questions here. What do you do to relax before you hit your drives?
Yeah. It's funny. When I get very nervous prior to events, like if I'm flying out the world, I'm really nervous in the plane. I'm nervous the night before. I usually can't sleep. But as soon as I walk, we usually walk out through an opening up onto the platform. And as soon as I walk out there, everything just, all the nerves go away. I kind of get excited to hit. Um, if by chance I am nervous, I kind of do a little breathing, work on my breathing, slow my breathing down, take deep breaths. Um, but over the last like 5 or 6 years, it's as soon as I get up on that stage, the nerves go away. Which I'm not sure why that happens, but I'm not arguing it.
Well, I think it's experience, right, Frank?
Definitely.
Doing it over and over again. How about mentorship on the tour? Some of these young guys come to you?
Yeah, some of the young, they'll come up, and it depends. Yes, I get a lot of, like my Facebook Messenger lights up. I get a lot of people asking questions and stuff, and I try and point them all in the right direction and what they need. And they ask a lot of questions, and I try and be helpful because I was that newbie out there when I started, and I didn't want to ask anyone questions. I tried to figure it out on my own, and it was a long process, long hard process. So I always, anyone out there, you guys have long drive questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm always open. May take a day or two for me to get back to you, but I will get back to you.
Because you have what? Critter Power Golf, right?
Yeah, Critter Power Golf. Hit me up on there's a link that can get me. It's critterpowergolf.com. There's a link that gets me messages for some reason that works sometimes, doesn't work other times. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger or crittergolf@gmail is the easiest way to get a hold of me. And that's crittergolf@gmail.
Very cool. Well, do we have any more questions, gentlemen? I don't see any more. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. And Geoff, thank you, my friend.
Thanks for having me on. This was a blast. I'd love to do this again sometime.
We will have you on for sure.
We'll see you at the PGA show.
Yes, PGA show time.
Let's do dinner if you guys are all down there.
That sounds good, bud.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, signing off. Until next Sunday, thank you guys so much for watching Golf's most interactive online show. And have a super week, and make sure you don't shovel too much.